All right, 182 then for the Sunrisers Hyderabad in a must-win, very important game against Lucknow. We saw a couple of 20s, a couple of 30s, a top score of 47 by Henrik Klaasen, 2 peaches from Krunal Pandya back-to-back, and the Sunrisers continue their love-hate affair with some no-balls this tournament. We discuss all that and more on Visit Saudi presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Time Out with Amol Muzumdar and Ian Bishop. First, let's get comments on the score itself. 182. Would you be happy if you're on the Sunrisers camp, Amol?
I think, yeah, 182, good score on this ground. The pitch slightly on a slower side, gripping a little bit. You saw, as you mentioned, 2 peaches from Krunal Pandya. So, yeah, definitely a good score on the board.
Bish, first thoughts on the score itself, 182?
Yeah, workable given that the ball is gripping.
All right, Krunal Pandya got 2 absolute beauties. Let's just talk about that, because we are now seeing Krunal Pandya like the old Jadeja. Jadeja has now become an all-surface bowler.
Yeah.
But Krunal Pandya now seems to be really dangerous, if not, impossible to negotiate if he gets it right on a surface, which helps. Has his bowling evolved or reached another level this year, Amol?
Definitely. If you see his domestic, when he was playing for Baroda as well, he bowled quite a bit, and just the drift that he gets. With that subtle, subtle drift, and then the grip off the surface. More often than not, you see him hit the surface with the seam upright.
Yes.
So basically, he gets that extra bit of bounce. And probably you saw the shot of the tournament so far from Surya Kumar Yadav yesterday. You saw the ball of the tournament so far.
Which one? Because both of them have good contenders. The Phillips one.
I would go for Markram one, because he was well set. Due credit to Quinton de Kock behind the stumps.
He's got something that other left-arm orthodox spinners don't. Amol talks about the sort of the seam hitting and creating the sort of ball of the tournament kind of vibes. But there's something about Krunal, the bowler, with his skill, Bish, that is perhaps separates him. Anything you've seen? No, he's just a spinner, and it turned.
Sort of a world-renowned left-arm orthodox spinner. Dhoni said something the other night. He said something about his bowlers use the seam more, whether he was alluding to getting that great seam position to be able to get it to bite, but just bowling into the surface and heavy into the surface seemed to have worked well. Ravi Bishnoi, slightly different, didn't get anywhere near as much purchase. So maybe that's a message for Sunrisers when they come out.
Yep. Klaasen and Abdul-Samad is who they have to thank, because it felt like the momentum shifted when Krunal Pandya struck 2 and 2 and 2 big wickets of Markram, the captain and player of the match in the last game, Glenn Phillips. But between the two of them, they've managed to take Sunrisers to score past 182, 47 of 29 to Klaasen, 37 of 25 to Markram. Very fine finish, you think, Bish, and Abdul-Samad looks now a player who's comfortable in one of the more difficult roles in the game.
It takes some time to grow into that role, I think. I feel for guys, particularly young guys like Samad, who have to do that role, because we've got the Pollards and the Russells back in the Caribbean, the Purans, and it's such a volatile role. So I'm hoping that Samad, what we've seen, is growing into it. 122 deliveries faced this year. You look at someone like Shah Rukh Khan, who's only faced 64. I know he had a bad season last year, but looks in better form, but can't get deliveries. So you're always, for me, struggling and fighting to get rhythm to finish in a highly volatile situation. But this is where, as coaches and selectors, you can see beyond the output and see the ability there and show more trust in these guys.
Yeah, I wonder if you can make something of just how he got those 37, Amol. 4 sixes and a 4. So he's got 28 in boundaries of 5 balls. And his other 9 have taken him 20, and the total number of sixes in that innings was 8. Samad's hit half of them. This tells you something, perhaps? Of
his 6 hitting ability is on the rise, and hence he can fit into that role. And number 6, number 7, just finishing things off. Also, the confidence that he derived from the previous game, hitting that last ball for 6 against Sandeep Sharma.
Yes.
And just winning that game for his team, and that must have elevated his confidence to a different level, I guess.
Klaasen's been, fair to say, Bish, the most consistent overseas batter this season?
He's been good. He's another one. The discussions have raged around, can they give him more opportunity to bat, because he plays spin well, he plays pace well, and he's in good touch. I had the misfortune or fortune to see him pummel the West Indies for 100 a few weeks ago. No, seriously, he's a high-quality player. So I'd be constantly, if I were looking at through a franchise lens, looking at ways of getting all of these guys, the Akshar Patels of this world who've been batting so well, to be fluid in my batting order, to make sure that I'm maximizing the guys who are in good form and not wasting that good form by just having a set pattern apart from my opening batters.
All right. We also had the pleasure of having Henrik Klaasen on our analysis during the 2019 World Cup. Soft-spoken fellow. You feel nothing can get him angry. And something did today. So we'll go into that. It happened on the third ball of the 19th over, where Abdul Samad faced a waist or somewhere there in the bouts, high full toss, and it was given a no ball on field. It went upstairs. It was overturned. It got Henrik Klaasen incensed, and it seemed like it went on for a while. It also got the Hyderabad crowd pretty riled up because there was some reaction and retaliation towards the Lucknow Super Giants dugout. Now, we don't, of course, would stand for that sort of thing, but let's talk about the incident itself. Let's get a verdict on the no ball. Amol.
I like the way he glanced at me.
Yeah, and then Amol.
He said, "Nah, I'm not going to him. You go to Amol first because you know what I'm going to say."
Just the batter first. All right.
My initial reaction was it's a no ball. So even when I saw it in the replay, I felt it was above the waist high. So
it should have been a no ball.
It should have been a no ball.
Ian Bishop.
No, I think that I was sitting here and my initial thing looking at it was that it was above waist high. But I have great sympathy for the umpires. And I'm never serious, but I'm going to be serious this one time. A lot of this is new this season, not only to us, but to umpiring as well. And those calls are always going to be subjective. You have the Hawkeye, but then guys are in different positions. You remember you have to be standing upright at the crease. So when an umpire sees a replay, he's not seeing the guy in his original position standing upright at the crease. He's guessing again, and you're going to get some wrong. I thought this season, the umpires have had a really good high percentage of judging a lot of those. So the guy gets one wrong.
Okay. So do you think, Bish, that will it make sense that in the stance, if you get an image of that batter, a still image, and then you judge the line of the ball, and then you
have to put all the guys downstairs in the engineering room have to put all of that together in that time frame, which takes time to line all of those.
But I like the thought of Amol's thinking. Like we know, this is the law that it's not standing batting position,
no,
it's upright position in at the popping crease.
Yes.
So the way you do, say, cutouts,
how are you going to judge it
portraits,
otherwise?
like you do portraits or cutouts for every player when they come out to bat, and it's almost instantly fired on broadcast. That is an element that could be done. You take a photograph of every batter side on at the crease pre-tournament, and then apply it in those situations. It's a little bit of work, but could it solve the problem?
It would solve the problem, because as it is right now, and I'm sorry we don't have the footage. So an umpires throughout the tournament are probably saying, as soon as the replay comes up, I'm looking in the background and I'm taking a mark from maybe a spectator's hat or signage in the background to try to determine subjectivity where he would be if he was standing upright at the crease. It's guesswork. So if a guy gets it wrong, give him a blind. Players get reviews wrong.
Okay.
And commentators.
Yes, of course. Notwithstanding that there will be some mistakes. At times you go, I can understand why he's given it out or not out. There is subjectivity. There are also what I know a number of commentators have classified as bad mistakes. There are mistakes and bad mistakes. Now, is that a subjective one that, it could have gone either way and neither team should feel hard done by? Or is that one that, no, he should have called a no ball, because even with all the doubt that he has, the evidence, including his reaction from his own colleague on field when he had to overturn it, gave something away. That was a bad mistake. Was that a bad call?
Now, I mean, I gave my opinion first, and then when I heard Ian say about it, just to think from a different angle and think from the umpire's perspective, I think it could have gone either way, but noticing the reactions from the players on the field, because they were watching the big screen.
Yes.
That could be a difference between win or loss. That could be a difference between teams going ahead or falling back. So we need to get this right. And my always opinion is, if we are going to use the technology, go for a foolproof technology, or you don't go. Then as we said, discussed, have that cutout image. There will be some work, but you got to have a foolproof. No guesswork allowed in that.
You think that's open to subjectivity, and therefore you accept the error. You don't think it's one of those that's a really poor call given everything you've seen?
No, I don't go that way, because the gentleman umpiring there, he's not an idiot. He's been in the job. Some people may say that have their opinions on him, but the fact is it's subjective. And Amar's little suggestion there is critical. I don't know who's hearing it. We could call it the Muzumdar shot in time to come, when we have the batsman and that's still standing upright greeting someone at the crease, because it's an absolute great idea. We've seen so many subjective calls this season with wides, with height, and it's a tough job. Come on, man. If a guy gets something wrong, players nick off stupid shots at the end of an innings. Bowlers bowl some deliveries like myself you could never understand, and we get a bligh. Give the umpires one.
All right then. There was a sympathetic viewpoint taken by Ian Bishop, and Amol Muzumdar with a gem of an idea on how it could possibly be solved.
Big idea.
Even if they can't get the image, at least get each one's height over there.
Terrific idea, honestly. Terrific. Move the technology forward. Credit him.
Well, you talk to more people who run broadcast than I do, so come on.
I'll credit him.
Yeah. Make it happen.
Yeah.
All right. Not that anyone gives much about my opinion, but that looks like a bloody no ball, right? And you could sense the reaction. I think the other challenge here is, Bish and Amol, we saw the reaction. It's nothing good when crowds retaliate, but the crowds are watching that, right? And if it is something which is fairly on the obvious side, let's assume today's was clearer than others, then it's going to have higher stakes, isn't it? You don't want disruptions in the game. So maybe another thing, it goes down to, and I know cricket used to do it earlier, don't show these on on the grounds. Now, I don't know if you stand on transparency, none of the players should see it, let the public there see it, or would you be saying, no, then he should be getting it right, all the more reason because everyone's watching that at the ground. But that also is a concern, because we had a 4 or 5 minute delay. Thankfully, nothing major happened and the cops had to patrol the stadium. But does that tell us anything, these kind of calls, if they get wrong in a stadium, in a high pressure game?
Yeah, a lot is at stake. So, I prefer that idea of no image or no visuals on the big screen. It used to happen earlier. I don't know what happened. I mean, they just started showing it. So only out or not out was shown on the big screen, and there was no way the public could know about it.
One thing is the public, but I also know the on-field players sometimes, I don't know if there's greater frustration if they don't get to see it themselves, because they always obviously have someone in the dugout watching it anyway, don't they?
Listen, I have no problem with them showing it on the screen. I think we all need as human beings to behave in a manner that is filled with humanity. Two things. The Surya Kumar shot over point yesterday. Half the people on social media, it was a thick outside edge. The other half, stupendous shot. You can't always go by public feeling. There are fielders who take catches, don't realize it bounced. Batsmen who nick it, don't realize they nick it, and vice versa. The umpires are in control of the game. We have to respect and trust them, whether they're right or wrong, and they will get some wrong.
Okay.
But we can't denigrate them all the time for that.
All right. Well, it's always an education.
You remember that.
Bishop and Amol Muzumdar, thank you very much. I will remember. Everything you say, I remember. The world remembers. Okay, remember the show. It's a good one, and we are then expressing, I guess, understanding for umpire Yashwant Barde, who finds his way onto one of our shows as a result of a decision that can be contested. 183 to get. Lucknow and their batters. I'm assuming they would bring in Sanveer Singh as mentioned pre-match. But is there a case? I'll just wait for a second or two to see who they've gotten, because Anmolpreet Singh, who started well, has obviously been subbed out. And could they have gone for an extra spinner, seeing what Krunal Pandya has done? Well, there you go. It's a change. Vivrant Sharma has come in now.
So, yeah, clearly no Sanveer Singh.
Yeah. So, clearly now we're seeing that a captain who had a pre-match plan that's been
got it wrong.
Changed, and that's fair. but all the more reason why perhaps don't announce anything. But they've got the extra leg spinning option, and I'm guessing that's what they're looking at. We didn't see Vivran bowl in the last game, or I think we saw bowl just an over or two.
Yeah.
But yeah, that could be. Is that a key sort of matchup?
Well, looking at the options over there, it's a clear-cut case that they're going spin heavy in their bowling lineup. Although I feel that there's not much quality in that spin beyond Mayank Markande.
Yeah,
you can have Aiden Markram, but there is a little bit of bluntness in that spin department.
Yeah.
But you never know. I mean,
sure. Abhishek Sharma is the only other spin. So you have a lot of part-time spin in Abhishek, Markram, and now even in Vivran Sharma, who did bowl 2 overs in that thrilling game at Jaipur, went for 18, didn't take a wicket. Right. Bish, final thoughts. Sunrisers to defend this or Lucknow to chase it down?
I'm going to go with Sunrisers.
Okay, you think they're going to defend this? Amol?
I would go with the Lucknow Super Giants.
Okay, all right, fair enough. I just do hope
I got the first one wrong.
Yeah, that's fine. I just hope it's not a close game. If it is, then we're going to revisit these decisions that decide.
I hope it's a close game then, so that we can revisit it.
Oh,
I do.
You do?
Wait, you wanted a super over. What's happened with that?
Yeah, well, no. Okay, fine. Let's go super over then, right?
He's like the wind, whichever way the wind blows.
For now, it is blowing me out of the studio before it gets any more tense with Ian Bishop and Amol Muzumdar. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Let's wait and see who picks up the points. It's a massive win for whichever team manages to get it, and we also build up to Delhi, Punjab later this evening. So join us at the end of this game on Visit Saudi presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Timeout.